Now with the anticipation of what happened on day 1, I was pretty pumped up for day 2. But elk hunting is elk hunting, and things just did not click like they did on that first day, at least in the morning. It was slow, we went from spot to spot, and we just could not find a good bull that was fired up to work. We were seeing lots of elk and lots of young bulls, but just no good bull in a good spot to work. The afternoon forecast was for rain, so we got to a spot where Scott had said there's always elk in here. In fact, we had seen him working up that way in the morning, so we knew there was going to be a pretty good little pot of elk up high on this rocky outcrop of a mountain. We geared up, re-geared in fact, had to put our rain gear on. When we got out of the truck, the skies bust loose and it started raining. In fact, at times it was pouring rain. But we got up into those rocks and we weren't disappointed by the gloomy weather. A bull right away responded. He sounded good. He sounded dominant, like he had something to say, something to offer, and we worked his way. Scott backed up, started calling, and it wasn't even minutes before 2 5-points just charged in. Now they came in silent. Scott didn't know it. He in fact was moving ahead, trying to agitate the bull that had been bugling to us, and he bumped those 2 5-points. But no worries, we didn't have to worry about them. Our other bull was still ahead, we felt. And so, at the 2 5-points out of our hair, we crept again closer. Scott gave him one little chirp, and that's kind of the key. Just tease him a little bit, and that bull responded again. And this time he was close. And with that bull coming in close, there was nothing to do but sit down right there and call, all of us together, and do the ranging and everything as one team side by side. That bull started working his way up the hill, right to our spot, dead on, facing straight at us. I was getting a little worried. Was I gonna get a shot if he did get into bow range? When he got to within about 40 yards, he did something that surprised all of us. He dropped into a bed and didn't come any further. Now I think what was going on was the rain was just pouring down. And just like people and other animals, he felt like he just wanted to hole up for a little bit and see if the rain would let up. With that going on, we all decided that maybe I could just creep up a little further, and that would separate Scott and Angie from me, so if they wanted to do some more calling, the bull would look past me and back at them. With the rain coming down, a perfect line of timber to get in there, I edged ahead. In fact, I got to within 35 yards of the bull at least. So I set up and gave Scott and Angie the thumbs up to call, and I got ready. And here he come and started right at me, again facing directly head on, which is a no-no in any archery elk shot. Finally, he hit a corner at about 20 yards. I readjusted my sight, made sure I was on for that yardage, and he started turning. And there was 1, 2, 3 trees he had to go behind. And as he went behind them, I come back to full draw. They stopped the bull. They thought the bull was in the open as I was coming back to full draw. And in reality, I was drawing because the bull's eyes were screened by brush. So he stopped all right, but with too much brush for me to shoot. And he stood there, and stood there, and stood there at 20 yards for what seemed like an eternity. And then I had to let up with the bull looking right at me. He took a turn. I started to come back to full draw again, and with all the rain and everything soaked, I flubbed. My release popped. The arrow went about 10 feet in front of me, and now I had to reload with the bull again right there. He started moving again. Scott and Angie stopped him. And I just, being so flustered with all this going on, I just didn't think everything through and used my 30-yard pin. Just a little too high. You're kidding. That was probably one of the best encounters I've had in a long time on elk, but I made the golden mistake of misjudging distance. So I shot right over him, which is good, because we didn't wound an animal. Scott did a great job of calling him in. I just need to do a better job of shooting next time.
Extreme Pursuits is brought to you by Polaris. See the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles now at your local dealer. Hunter's Specialties, for sportsmen, by sportsmen. Real Avid, true to the core. Nikon, the trusted name in optics. Truck Vault, manufacturers of the world's finest in vehicle secure storage systems. And by these other fine sponsors.